Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi themed video. This is Jamie from System 22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we're continuing on with our sort of series of glowing things, and we've got a sort of glowing spinner for you right here. Really easy to do. When you hover over it, you're going to find this button appear. When you hover on the button, it's got a glowing effect too. Now we're using a bit of code for this today from CodePen, supplied by Lou. Thank you, Lou. Really easy to do, so let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is enable my Visual Builder. And let's go down and we'll get rid of this section and start from scratch. So I'm going to add a new section, little blue button. I'm going to make it a regular section. I'm going to put a row in with a single column. Inside that column, I'm going to put a simple Divi code module right here. Okay, now we're opened up. Here's the field we want to put our code in. Let's go and grab some code. Here's the HTML on this side and CSS on this side. A lot of it is you can delete if you want to. It's just notes and things, but it's not doing any harm. So I'm going to take all of it. So I'm going to Control A, select all, Control C to copy. Let's paste it in between our little code thing here. There we go. And there it is. It's not going to look like much because we've got no styling for it. So we're going to copy some CSS next from CodePen. And as it's CSS and we're going to use the same code module for it, we've got to put it in some style tags. So if I roll down a bit, and style tag is a left pointy bracket, the word style, and a right pointy bracket. And when you put in the right one, it'll put in a closing tag there, as you can see. I'm going to hit the space, put a little space between them, and in between the two, the opening and closing tags, we can put any CSS that we want to use. We've got our HTML. Let's have a look at our CSS over on this side. Some of it we're not going to need, like the HTML and the body and the main, because we've got our own, and the body colors there. So I'm going to take it, we'll take it over and change what we need to change there. So I'm going to just Control A, select all, Control C to copy, and again we'll go back to the site. We'll paste it in our two little style tags that we had before there. And there we go, we've got a little something there. It's not quite what I want. Let's go back up and let's get rid of any CSS that we don't want here. So here's the top of our style. We want the root. Don't want the HTML body or the body color there, so I can get rid of that. Delete. That's popped it back in the middle there. That's great. And the P and the A, I'm going to put the main in front of that. The reason I'm using the main, if we go back up to the top there, is we're encased in a main tag right there. So if I put main P and A, it should just affect the writing in here, rather than if I leave it there. I don't know if you can see that, just up here it's affecting this writing as well. And we just want it to affect any writing, basically these dots within our new section here. So let's go back down to that CSS. There it is. I'm going to write main P and main A. You shouldn't see any changes apart from when we go back up. Those are back to normal again. Great. Fantastic. So let's go about styling this the way we want to style it. So let's just save this and we'll put a dark background in our section so we can see what's going on. Blue tab for the section. I'm going to hit the little cog. There's the background. Just give it a simple black background. And while I'm in here, I'm going to take away any space we don't need by going to Design, Spacing, Padding, Top, put a 0 in. Just hit the little chain and it'll do the bottom for us. That'll take away any excess padding at the top there. I'm going to do the same for the row, the green tab right here. Design, Spacing. Again, just put a 0 in hit the little chain. We're good to go. Great. Well, I want these buttons to be in keeping color wise with the rest of my site, so I'll use this purple that we've got here. So let's see what this purple is. It's the background color. Just click on it. There it is. I'm going to copy this color. The reason I'm copying this color is because the colors in our CSS here, if we look at it, are HSL colors. So I want to convert my hex to an HSL, and I'll put this URL below for anybody that needs it. It's just a converter. I can put my color in at the top here. As you can see, it's changed that purple. And I can copy its HSL value right here. Control C to copy. We'll go back to the actual site and do it in the site. Under the content, we want to go back to the top, to the text. So we can get out of our call to action here. We'll go down, we'll go back into our code module here. Go down to the CSS and replace that color, and it should turn to our purple that we're using everywhere else. There we go, and it's static dot color. Static dot's the blue one. Moving dot is a sort of light colored one. I quite like that light color. I might change it in a moment. We'll see how we get on. So I'm going to just replace that HSL there. Make sure you don't cut off the semicolon on the end. Control V to paste in our new one. There we go, we've got our purple dots going on there. And while I'm in here, I'm going to copy this HSL color for the blue, because I'm going to use that with our button. So I'm going to convert it from HSL to a hex this time. Control C, back over here. I'm going to paste it in. Take away the colon on the back side of it there. There we go, now that'll work. And there's our hex color. Just going to leave that. Okay. So now I want a button that's going to appear in the middle of it when we hover over. So let's save what we got here. I'm going to add a call to action module underneath. Actually, before I do that, I've noticed a bit of text in there that's part of this script here. So let's get rid of that text first. Go back into our code module. Scroll down. This will be part of our HTML at the top here. There it is. Based on and designed by. Let's scroll down. Yep, there we go. Thank you to this person for letting us use this code, by the way. But let's just get rid of that. There we go. Job done. Now back to adding a button. I'm going to add a new module here, but I'm not going to use a button module. I'm going to use a call to action module simply because it's easier to move than a regular button is, so we can position it in the middle here. Here it is down here. Well, I don't want a title. There's no button at the moment. You don't see the button until you put an actual link in. So let's say whatever it is you want to say. Like I say, you can't see it at the moment. Don't want any content. Let's move down to the link. Put the link in. When I do, you'll see that button appear. I'm just going to use a hashtag for a real link. There it is right there. Now I don't want a background color, so I'm simply going to go and get rid of that. So we've just got the button itself. Okay, let's style our little button here. Okay, well I want it at first to be that light blue color, so let's grab that color right here. And I'm going to go into the design, down to the button settings. I'm going to use custom styles for the button. And button text color. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to paste in my little hex code there. Changes to that nice light blue. But when we hover over it, and this is common to most Divi modules, hover over the dark writing, you'll see some little icons appear. Hit that arrow Two little boxes will appear and let you set different states for when the mouse is on it and when the mouse is not on it. Arrow obviously when the mouse is on it. So when the mouse is on it, I want it to be white, and you'll see why in a minute. So I'm going to set it back to the hover state. Now I'm going to go back down to the actual border color itself, and I'm going to do the same thing. Hit the little arrow to get those two boxes up. Desktop state, want it to stay that color. Hover state, I want it to be white. Great. Now it's changed color on me there. So let's make that sure that this color is the color we want by pasting that in there. And white on hover, fantastic. Now then, let's give it a little border radius to make it round. Border radius down below, and this is for both settings, so I don't need to do anything. I'm going to put in 50, it'll put in the pics. That makes it nice and round. And I'm going to give it a little purple glow with our purple color there. If we roll down, I don't want to show a button icon, which is the little icon when you hover over it. So I'm going to flip that one to off. Now I don't want text shadow, but I do want box shadow, and I'm going to use this one right here. You won't see anything because it's dark. Let's make the color purple. And there's a bit of a glow there. Let's make the spread strength a lot more, and we'll use the shadow blur to sort of blur it into the background a little bit, but it wants to be a definite glow sort of thing. Perhaps take that down a little bit. Get it to how you want it. Something like that. Okay, now comes the fun bit. We've got to make it go up above here, and because we want it to trigger when they roll over anywhere near this circle here, I'm going to add some padding to the top and the bottom. Then we're going to use reverse margin to pull it up, so it's going to look a bit strange for a moment. So while we're in the design, let's go down a bit. We can go down to spacing. I'm going to add padding. Let's say 300 to the top, and the same on the bottom. It's disappeared way down here, but now I'm going to use negative margin to bring it up here. Let's use, I think it's around negative 900 or so I used last time, and as you can see, that's pulled it up. Now we've got padding top and bottom, so this is sitting on top of our revolving thing here, so we can actually click on it and trigger it. I think that's going to sit a bit higher, so I'm going to adjust it a little bit down. We can come back and adjust it if we need to. I think it was 890 I used before, and depending on how big your text is and everything, you may have to adjust yours differently, but I can come back and adjust that if I need to. Okay, that's pretty much all we need to do here. Set for the fact our call to action, we don't actually want to see it until they hover anywhere near it. So still in the design, let's close up spacing. We'll go down to filters down here, and we'll go down to opacity or transparency or see-throughness if you like. Hit the little arrow. Again, we've got a desktop. Don't want to see it when they're not hovering over it, which is desktop state. Hover state, we want to see it fully. There we go. The only other thing I'll do is slow it down slightly for the time it takes to get from this to this by going to advanced, to transitions. There's the duration. I'm going to make mine, I don't know, 3/4 of a second, something like that. And the curve I like to use is ease in, ease out. They're all slightly different. Some will work better than others in certain situations, but a lot of these sort of hover effects, I like to use that one, but experiment, choose your own. Okay, well, let's see what we've got here. We may need to tweak it a little bit, but let's save our changes. Save draft or publish, and exit the visual builder. Okay, well, there it is, and when we hover over, there's our little button. And what I forgot to do was have it change color, or that shadow change color when we hover over it. Everything else is working. Got to make sure we got no background in there. And we're going to make this background just slightly more interesting, and we're done. So let's enable the visual builder again. Let's go down to our section. I'm going to hit the little cog. Go into background. And I'm going to change this color to purple now. And I'm going to add an image. Here's the background. I'm going to add this sort of space type image. Now you won't be able to see the color because of that, but I'm going to go down and use our blend to blend that purple with this background. And for me, I like the multiply. That works really well for me. But you can get some fantastic effects by playing with these, you know, saturation and luminosity, but for me, I'm going to use the multiply right there. Now we had to just tweak that button slightly. Now here's that case I mentioned earlier. Sometimes when you position things with negative margins, they'll be hidden from you because they'll be underneath other things. To get to them, hit the little purple button. We'll go to wireframe mode. Here it is, kind of back end. We go straight to our call to action. Hit the little desktop, go back to desktop view if you want to. Roll down to where we want to be. Okay, and we needed to go to design and button. Now the text shadow we wanted to change, that was for sure. So box shadow, here it is, and the box shadow color, when we hover on it, wants to be that blue color that we had copied. There we go. And purple, when we're not hovering, it's disappeared, but that should be fine. We want to make sure there's no background, because I saw a background when we hovered on it before. Here's the button background. Let's get a hover state up. Regular state, nothing. Great. Hover state. Okay, it says there's nothing in there. Just make sure it's transparent on both. There we go. We'll save everything and we should be good to go. Exit the visual builder, and here we go, guys. Here's our glowing animated spinner. When we hover close to it, the button's going to appear. Hover away, it'll go away again. When we hover over the button, it's got that little glowing effect also. And like I say, that's pretty eye-catching. You're not going to miss that on a website. Really easy to do. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and WebDesignAndTechTips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.